Okay. Harassed again. Um, I was in Walmart 62, May 27th, 22. I check out at 1:54. So go about 10 minutes before that. I go to walk in. Um, I left my car playing in the phone. I mean, my phone playing in the car. Of statements of how stupid this is. Okay. I I go in and there's a guy and a kid behind me. Should I call her a bad name? The dad said, no, she's not, and don't do that. I thought, about time you correct your kid. It's not the first one that's corrected their kids for bad behavior. Okay? So, I go in and I go towards the medicine aisles. Some ladies are walking by. They really cut her up. The police better do something about this or something like that. They did cut me up. Okay? So I go to leave, and when I go to walk out, there's an African American lady getting in a car and said, I can't believe anybody would even say anything to her about this. Well, yeah, that would take low integrity. So then I go over to Mentor's Clothing. Okay? Some idiots come in there. The boys drugged her because they wanted the truth out of her. No, they drugged me to frame me. Dumbasses. You want the truth out of someone, you talk to them with Miranda rights. You don't drug people, it's attempted murder. They did it to frame me, to get what they want. And tell me, say stupid stuff. And some lady, little kid's like, well, she meant it. Meant it what? I was drugged and told to say stuff. I've never been questioned. I like to see my Miranda rights. I like to see the court docket. Where I was prosecuted. Never happened. Never found guilty either. They broke in and stabbed me with needles and rookie drinks. And they were doing it before I called Blowback, and they had fake FBI badges. And they did find the tape of those boys admitting they put a shower scene in the other room. And more than two knew. And that they were drugging me and telling me to say stuff before. None of this is funny. It's a terrorist group hiring people to make fun of me. It's not funny to victimize people, pretend you're federal agents, and cut somebody up and hack into a police login and sell it to regular people. It's not funny that people make fun of me for being a victim of a terrorist group. How stupid are they? Oh, and in Mentors, they found out those grandkids will never get a dime out of this. No, they won't. Sorry, honey. Yeah, no, you can't drug up grandma, Photoshop her, and stalk her in her home. And Melissa's kids are, that's one thing. With me calling the FBI, I went in protective life custody. All the police and agents and stuff are following people around. And they caught Melissa telling the kids to lie. And the kids on Thanksgiving of 18, for the house wasn't meant for grandma, it was meant for Auntie Shell and Papa, and grandma needs to get out. And then later on, we're making everything up to Flora. They're documenting me games that pretend. My family spoke highly of me before an 18. And, yeah, it's just a terrorist group trying to extort money. And they were in there. Uh-huh. They'll never get a dime of this. No, they won't. They would be an accessory to stalking, drugging, and framing. And they'd go to juvie. And even the attempt extortion underneath this. They would. No attorney can get a quarter or watch you. That's ridiculous. Police and FBI can only be in a home under a threat of life set up correctly. I've already gave you the requirements of it. And that's where Reinhardt started laughing until Will took your statement and agreed to protect you. Nobody could be in your home, per Department of Justice. And then a heavy psychop had to talk to Dave. That's the law. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life. The failure to notify before initiating and speaking to the other person in the home is abuse and misconduct. Failure to protect is abuse and misconduct. Who do you report? Police or agencies or anybody surveillancing you in your home? FBI, ICE, local police department, and Department of Justice. It's a legal search and seizure, Fourth Amendment right to privacy. It throws the case out. That's why that heavyset cop had to go to Dave. He didn't know that idiot pretended he was um, FBI before I called well back, and then they drugged me up so I couldn't remember to tell him. That's a bitch. That's a real bitch. That's why I couldn't get out of bed for a couple days. Because that's not me. And these people are too stupid not to be afraid of terrorists that could rape them, they could cut them up, they could torture them, sell their family online to weirdos, and stalk them in their home. Do you know how stupid they are? They could already be in their home watching them, photoshopping them in another room. Where they woke up with a bruise on their leg, couldn't explain it. Well, now we have a sodium pentothal report. We made up a court order to watch you. We have fake sodium pentothal reports. Now we have charges against you. You never talk to anybody. Now hand over your house, your car, your keys, your wife's jewelry, and all your bank account, or we'll put you in jail. They're stupid enough to hand it to them instead of calling 911. Some terrorist group's been stalking me and drugged me up. They're that stupid around me. I talk to people and they're like, how fucking stupid are these people? They are fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. I told you, March 2nd to the 3rd, 21, they were breaking with the neighbors. We're going to put 2 clips together and put her in a porn. It's not her, it's them. Don't worry about her. March 24th, 22, 130, red apartment building, have that white man with his dark hair woman. Got screamed at for framing me. Amy heard an apartment building for me, second one close to fence, clear out of clients out of town. We all heard that bastard admit to framing you. Because they sold the login. Just like February 2nd, 22, Burlington Coat Factory, a younger guy that looks like the guy that went to Paymer with the girl with black hair and spirals in her. I see her out today. It's not funny what's going on. I know. I wish I went and drugged her and told her to say it before. People are running and save a lot. Oh my goodness. They admitted and drugged her and told her to say it before. My one client lives on 6th Street. There's a brown house across there. The African-American man has a login where they sold it. Ran out and sent it to the postman. 8-9 first thing in the morning, apartment building for me, second one close to fence. Ran it out day for roofing me where I thought he was poisoning me. Then did fence me on tape. That's where it's priceless. May 25th in town of 21 at 6 p.m. And Wendy's of the crew was talking about the church people breaking in before drugging me and telling me weirdo stuff. 1295 Fairlawn Middle Apartment screamed at them for doing it. They've talked to other people and police. Last year. 8821. Some guy that looks like Henry Moppy from the Facebook and Instagram. He started texting me as soon as he tried to kill me. He thought I was pretty. Yeah, right. Okay? He showed up. That's where it's scary. And followed me around for 3 years. 8821. He comes racing in house. That ass actually fentanyl her. I'm like, drama queen. Fairlawn Street. I feel bad about everything. 8821, 8:15 to 8:30 at night. Screams it across the parking lot. Did you know he fentanyl? And told her to say it before? No, we just found out. We just didn't know. They already knew the kids were lying. So they thought they'd make a buck off of roofing. Have more. December 9, 21, 4 p.m. At the Oakland apartment, somebody calls him all the tapes before were them, not her. Wow, what's going on? It's a group of men doing as many crimes as they can to see if someone will stop him. December 9, 21, white man, bald, dark eyes, was one of my security guards. Stark County Hunger Task Force distributing food. They have cameras in it. Comes out and says it makes my stomach turn seeing her in a place like this. I know, we always knew the tapes before were them, not her, so we never said a word. He told investigators, several of them. And Ed told investigators and the police. And these people still don't shut up. And they insult me for a shower scene. Because I'm like, March 13, 21 at Mercy Medical, the only thing they had on you was adjusting yourself. The guy said, that's sick. She said, no, you just simply wiped off water with clothes on. She didn't say touching. She didn't say we were touching. She didn't say exposing. She said, just simply wipe something off. I'm like, what on earth? He's like, that's sick. She said, no, it's funny. Okay. Well, riding in town, some other lady, you didn't expose yourself. You're good. I'm like, what on earth? Just wiped off some water with clothes on. Something simple and basic. You know, straight down. And then the 1260 Fairlawn, that's part of it. some guy in a truck pulled up there and yelled at her, we'd have to shut down the nation for that. Well, March 1st and March 15th of last year, they're walking around Marks on Cleveland Avenue. We know what they try to say. That never work. And they're laughing at these people. Well, when they put a shot, and they're saying stuff that didn't happen. So I'm sitting alone in my apartment. My apartment's bugged from the protective life case, and they sold it. It's like the only time I touch myself like that is showering. I walk outside. She figured out what they did, and they're laughing at me. My car taped them. That's where May 12th, 22, at noon at Bubba's, there's a big camera. There's a black SUV and some gray cars following me around for a long time. They get out of that patio, tape and audio. We found the tape of those boys admitting it was a shower scene in the other room. And we told them none of this is funny. Okay, well, yesterday, that's May 12th, 22 at noon. Okay, at Bubba's restaurant. Yesterday was May 26th at noon. I go in KFC in Belgium. I had to use the restroom, and I was going to eat in my car so they can't harass me. And I thought, I want to eat at a table like a human being. Some idiot man came in. That attorney had it set up so it made her look like she was weird with herself. And some idiot man told on him for putting a shower scene in the other room. Now they can't use it. Attorneys can't get a court order to tape you anywhere. They lose their license and they go to jail. Police and FBI can only be in there under threat of life cases and set up correctly, or they lose their badge and they go to jail. And it's not admissible. So you can't frame people. And with there being a retired judge's daughter involved, that whole county couldn't even work a case against me. And they didn't even say anything to me. The police in uniform is hi, sweetie. And an undercover police officer from Ravenna told North Canton Jackson Police June the 19th, the worst thing you ever did wrong, honey, is bend over and properly. We can wipe that out. Because that was one of Melissa's sick lies. She changed it from the back of my knees to my tushy. And they caught her saying it and wearing a nightgown I didn't own. And I had to verify I always wore the tent nightgown and underwear and a house coat. I just replaced all those but the tent one and some laces that I kept. I replaced everything the year before. And he's like, I know you did. Just to have him verify it in the house. Or I always wear a leggings, sweater, and a house coat when the grandkids are over. He's like, I always know that you do that. See what I mean? And they already caught her lying. They're the ones that came up. Melissa says, stupid. She made everything up when you were fishing with Dave. She's actually that stupid. She didn't check where you were. Her first lie, her second lie, her third lie. The bitch wouldn't quit lying. They're documenting cases over time. They got caught stating on Thanksgiving of 18. The house wasn't meant for Grandma. It was meant for Auntie Shell and Papa, and Grandma needs to get out. And then later on to Flora, we're making everything up. They're games of pretend. They're documenting games of pretend. They found all the kids lying in 2018. They yelled it out. Walmart, West Tusk, November 7th or 8th of last year in the morning. They found all those kids lying in 2018. They did. On Cleveland Avenue, October 5th, 21, Huntington Bank, 1:53 p.m. I don't want Melissa getting no money, all this. That's okay. They knew they made everything up. They didn't want anybody to help her. October 2nd to the 3rd, I'm at Mercy Medical. One of the ladies that watched me told an officer she's an informant. They're all lying on her. He's like, it's okay. I'll make sure no one says anything to her. And then inside the emergency room at Mercy Medical, they're in there making fun of me for being raped. I deal with it all the time. I try to help some lady that her husband died in 19, and a cop and a stalker, an all-fat white man raped and tortured me between July and September 19, and they told the video of it and put it on the internet because they don't think anybody could stop them. What do you do with this? What do you do with terrorism in low lives that don't have enough IQ to be afraid of terrorists? They have fake badges they got in the back of Holman Hospital March 13, 21. And blame the FBI for the chip. And I talked to the FBI, why would you think you have a chip? Well, watch 12/21/18. Self-explanatory, honey. And then they frame the FBI and have fake badges in that hospital that I'm in the back. What if they touched a computer? They could have stole everybody's ID. You know, Maybe these people that did it to me, maybe they ought to be raped and tortured, drugged and framed, everything they've stolen in life, cut their head open, put a disc in them, do it to them. See if they like it, and see if they think it's funny. And everybody laughing at me for being a victim of a terrorist group. You know what, the men that watch me, we all know she's a victim of an occult that drugged her and tried to kill her before. A victim. And I'm a victim of these terrorists that they're making fun of me for. They don't have enough IQ to be afraid of them. I'm telling you, they probably could be already watching them in their home. They won't know it. It'd be a little tiny little button in a smoke detector air vent. They could have kiddie porn of their kids in the bathroom, selling it on kiddie porn sites, and their family online. And they could have photoshopped them in another scene, and where they woke up with a little bruise they couldn't explain, and now they have a sodium pentothal report. And then they come up to him. We had a corner and watch you. We got these fake charges against you. Now hand over your house, your keys, your truck, your wife's jewelry, your bank account. Instead of calling 911, they got some crazy psychopath after you that did all these crimes. They probably hand it over because they're stupid. They don't have enough IQ between their brain. There's no charges against me. There's no accusations. None. Matter of fact, the Ravenna police, October 2020 in FedEx, we all know this woman's innocent. For we all know. January 25th, 2019, 8:30 at 10:30 at night, where Dave's acting crazy. All the police are at the end of the road. One shows up. The police always knew she was innocent before. They were talking about it at the station. Some guy was bailing his guy out from a team and said, if she's innocent, I'll pay a fine or bail. And he said, no, the police already knew she was innocent before. And they never want to arrest her, that somebody else did something wrong before. Like the security guards that they already knew all the tapes before were them, that I was drugged and photoshopped. So they never said a word. Think about it.